David, does Bud have a chance against Canelo?
I think he does, bro. I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Bud, his IQ and his experience will definitely help him through. It's just that, you know what I mean? He's going up 2 other weight classes when he had just went up to 154.
Caleb Plant has finally broken his silence on the blockbuster showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, and his bold verdict is already sending shockwaves through the boxing world. For the full fight breakdown, make sure to watch the video till the end, and I kindly request you to subscribe to this channel.
Stylistically, this is just my last follow-up. Do you think Canelo should be the favorite in the fight because he's bigger, or do you see he had trouble with Skull, his speed? Terence is going to throw a lot more, and he has that speed also.
Regardless of however the fight itself plays out, I feel like the betting, the betting people will probably have Canelo as.
Having once felt the full weight of Canelo's punches, Caleb Plant knows better than most what the Mexican superstar brings to the table. But according to him, this showdown with Terence Crawford won't be like anything fans have witnessed before. He believes the collision between the pound-for-pound king from America and the undisputed ruler at 168 pounds is set to unleash an entirely new kind of energy inside the ring. The anticipation has been brewing for months, and with fight night now closing in, the buzz is at an all-time high. On September 13th, under the bright lights of Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, boxing history will be written. Terence "Bud" Crawford will climb into the super middleweight division for the very first time, daring to snatch the crown from Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed champion of the world. This isn't just a fight, it's a seismic moment for the sport.
Your favorite, Canelo or Crawford?
Canelo. Yeah.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, of course he's probably been training, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the Undisputed Champion, it's going to...
Plant, the former IBF champion who knows all too well what it's like to share a ring with Canelo after losing his belt to him, broke down the fight in his own unique way. He predicted that this clash won't just be high stakes, it'll be high volume, with far more punches flying than fans have seen in some of Canelo's recent outings. While he admitted the odds naturally tilt in Canelo's favor, given Crawford is daring to leap multiple weight classes, Plant stopped short of naming a winner. Instead, he urged fans to sit back and soak it all in, calling this one of those rare fights that's better experienced than overanalyzed.
It doesn't matter what the betting odds say, though. You know what I'm saying? I've been the underdog a couple times. Jose Uzcategui, I was the underdog. That's how I became world champion. So, odds only mean so much. Once the bell rings, the fighters get to figure it out.
Do you think Canelo wins? Or do you think Terence wins? This is my last one.
Can't say. Can't say, don't know. I'm just, as a fan, excited to see the fight. And from the boxing knowledge that I have, which I feel like is decent, I think it's going to be a real good fight. I'm excited.
Plant, the former IBF champion who knows all too well what it's like to share a ring with Canelo after losing his belt to him, broke down the fight in his own unique way. He predicted that this clash won't just be high stakes, it'll be high volume, with far more punches flying than fans have seen in some of Canelo's recent outings. While he admitted the odds naturally tilt in Canelo's favor, given Crawford is daring to leap multiple weight classes, Plant stopped short of naming a winner. Instead, he urged fans to sit back and soak it all in, calling this one of those rare fights that's better experienced than overanalyzed.
Bueno, es una pelea muy dispareja, la verdad. Crawford es un gran peleador, pero no tiene nada que hacer en ese peso. Con todo respeto, él va por el dinero y Canelo lo va a noquear.
The two fighters are going to be different weight classes, even though they're going to fight on a specific weight. He believes that they're just going because of the money, Crawford. But probably Canelo is going to...
Not everyone is taking the cautious route like Caleb Plant. Mexican icon Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., one of the nation's most legendary champions, made his stance crystal clear. In his eyes, there's no debate. Canelo Alvarez is simply too big, too strong, and too powerful for even a master technician like Terence Crawford to handle. Chavez Sr. insists that the weight and power gap will become undeniable once the fight heats up. And he doesn't see it dragging into the championship rounds either. Instead, he's boldly predicting that Canelo will shut the show down with a knockout somewhere around the 6th or 7th round.
Terence gotta be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill.
Antonio Tarver isn't buying the narrative that size alone will decide this fight. In fact, he's betting big on Terence Crawford to shock the world once again. Yes, he respects the danger Canelo brings, but Tarver is convinced that Crawford's razor-sharp mind, adaptability, and fluid style could flip the script inside that ring. To him, Crawford's speed, unpredictability, and rhythm are the perfect weapons to disrupt Canelo's trademark timing and counter-punching pressure. For Tarver, this fight won't be won by who's bigger, it'll be won by who's smarter when the fire is hottest.
All I know is that if you were in a Canelo Crawford card, that card would be a million times. It's still an amazing card, but you would have added a lot. Who wins, Canelo or Crawford?
I think it's going to be a good fight, man. I'm going for Canelo, of course. You know, he's the Mexican warrior as well. But Crawford, man, you can't neglect him or you can't underestimate him as well. You know, he has a lot of skills, a lot of movement. He's a lefty as well. That's what Canelo has trouble with. I think it's going to be an amazing fight, man. I just can't wait, and the best man